For this final of the 4x100 meters relay. We saw drama in the heats yesterday, trying to get the baton round. You can see this is at the second changeover point, so from the back straight into the bend. And here's the Canadian team, going to be led off by Savannah Blair, into Diana Proctor, Odiaza and Tedger. For the Swiss team, Timea Rankel into Leah Thalman, Chloe Rabach and Alicia Massini. And the Jamaican team, so slick with their baton changes yesterday. Shnoya Michaela Douglas leading off into Aliyah Baker, Brianna Campbell and Ilana Reed bringing it home. For the US team, this is Jade Brown leading them off. She will hand to Santera James, Avery Lewis, and Taylor Schneer bringing it home. Alexandra Stoilova will lead off the Australian quartet, handing the baton to Tori Lewis, silver medalist in the 200 yesterday, Olivia Rose Inkster and Jessica Milat. And for the Puerto Rican team, Legne Echevarria, handing into Frances Colon, Amanda Andino, and Karina Franceschi. For the Ukrainian team, this is Anna Karandakova. We'll hand it over to Diana Miroshnichenko, Yuliana Stepaniuk, and Alina Kishkina. The Polish team, Olivia Zimolag, she will hand over to Klaudia Kristatek, Inga Kanitska, and Jagoda Zukowska.
On your marks.
Baton changes so crucial. It was a good start for the US team. They are blazing around, trying to make up the ground on the Jamaican team outside of them into the first changeover. Good changeover for the Jamaicans. A little bit sticky on the Americans. That enabled the Australians to get back into the competition on their inside. Here's this changeover. Again, great changeover from the Jamaicans. A good changeover and better, I think, from the Americans. Swiss team are also right up in there. This is where the Jamaicans were ahead at this point yesterday. And the American runner's gone too soon. That puts the Australian team in the lead, but Alana Reed, a look across, puts it into full throttle charging for that line and brings home that gold medal for Jamaica. It is the Swiss team celebrating a bronze medal performance courtesy of the baton exchange on that final exchange for the American team. We get another look at that. That is Avery Lewis coming in to hand the baton to Taylor Schneer. I think it might have been that Taylor Schneer went a little bit too soon. There is the result. It was a gold medal performance for Jamaica. Australian taking the silver, and the Swiss team, and you can see what it means to them to take that bronze medal.
When you watch an Olympic or World Championships senior relay 4x1, you have to remember that they train all year round as a squad together. These have qualified in the last few weeks and have maybe only trained together since they got into Lima. So it's a little bit rough and ready at times, and the checkpoints and the takeoffs also betray a little bit of nerves of youth, don't they? I think when we watch the USA on this last leg, that's what happened.
Yeah,
Went too soon.
I think we are also hearing that there is a changeover under review for the Australian team at the moment as well. We did see yesterday just how well the Jamaicans did exchange the baton here. So you can see the outgoing US athlete Taylor Schneider does go a little bit too soon there, and she has to stop, break down, don't exchange the baton in time. That exchange was good there for Australia, and for Jamaica, extremely slick. The Swiss chasing hard at this point. I don't think they could believe their luck, but Alana Reid really away clear, has time for a look across just to check.
That's the lead-off runner, Rikanet Steenkamp, for them. She will hand over to Mamatu. And then Tamsin Thomas and Karina Horn, the bronze medalist in the 100 yesterday, will be their anchor athlete. Great Britain are led off by Asha Phillips, very experienced. She will go well, surely, round the first bend. Imami Lansiquot. Then Bianca Williams, fourth in the 100 on the second bend. And Shannon Hilton on the anchor leg. Estelle Rafai will lead the French out. They go in sixth. Akakpo, Gallet and Brossier, their quartet. Germany, usually very well drilled. Quaid on the opening leg for them. Then Burkhardt, Vesely and Montag. The Jamaicans, well, Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price will surely give them a fabulous lead here. She is a world champion, Olympic champion. Sherika Jackson on the second leg, Smith and Hickling their third and fourth leg runners. Then for the USA, Mikia Briscoe on the first leg will hand over to Aliyah Brown, Zira Bryant and Ashley Henson, the winner of the 100 for them on the anchor. That is somebody to rely upon. Kamila Chiba on the opening leg for Poland, Vukashovic, Kielbasinska and Swoboda, the fifth placer in the 100 on their final leg, the anchor leg. And China go on the inside, Liang, Bai, Gay and Yuan, their quartet. Again, the Chinese tend to punch above their weight with well-drilled squads in the relays. Be interesting to see how well they cope with that tight inside lane. But the Americans with Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price and Sherika Jackson on legs 1 and 2 could be several meters ahead at halfway. So much of it depends, of course, though, on baton speed, getting those changeovers right. Make sure they're safe, but make sure the baton speed is maintained as high as possible through each changeover. You don't want it to slow down as with faltering switches from one athlete to the other of that little metal tube. China, Poland, USA in 3, Jamaica in 4, Germany, France, Great Britain in 7, South Africa in 8. Well, watch Fraser-Price in lane 4 for Jamaica. Is she going to make up ground on the American, on the German outsider, Quay? Yes, she has, I think. And the American is injured. The American is down. Goodness me. Mikia Briscoe is injured and has collapsed on the first bench. The Americans are out straight away. How ironic when they've already confirmed that they are the champions at this World Cup. Great Britain there, not a great changeover, but they are in the lead at the moment, going strongly around the outside, but the stagger unwinds now with Germany chasing hard. The Jamaicans are coming in lane 4 there, in that yellow strip. Are they going to get in trouble? The Britons, a dreadful changeover from the Jamaicans there. China looking good on the inside, but Great Britain leading this one home. It's going to be a win for Great Britain. Shannon Hilton takes it with maximum points. The Jamaicans nearly getting there, about a metre down their last leg runner there, Tisana Hickling. But maximum points for Great Britain from lane 7. They will be totally unaware, I'm sure, of the demise of the Americans. Goodness me, how unfortunate for Mikia Briscoe. Clearly something wrong on that first leg. Could have been cramp, could have been a more serious injury, we don't know. But they never completed the race. But Great Britain, a bit of a shock, that one. Maximum points for the home squad, and the crowd absolutely loving that one, roaring them home as they just managed to stay ahead of Jamaica. Goodness me, it was eventually pretty close. 42.52 by Great Britain to 42.60 by Jamaica, with China battling for third.
Well, we never like seeing shots like that when an athlete's down. She tried so hard to continue the race and get the baton onto a teammate. But it was a wonderful race for the British team. Looking at the point situation, that's done a lot for the British team, that has, and Shannon Hilton managed to hold off the fast-finishing Jamaicans. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the new mummy back in track and field this year, set off Jamaica well. United States of America had the injury which scuppered their relay, but the British team, Asher Phillip, Bianca Williams, Imani Lancico and Shannon Hilton, picking up good points in the final female track event of the evening.
It is indeed, as you say, Catherine, quite rightly, yes, the last track action, and somewhat fittingly, to give us a little bit of Britishness for a moment, the British quartet winning in front of the home crowd, sending them home happy in the field. But here is that changeover. The Jamaicans getting all so wrong there, receiving it slowly and then changing hands. Isn't that one of the golden rules, Tony? You don't change hands in a relay with that baton. You receive it in one hand, you keep it in that hand.
You're quite right, Tim. You're quite right, Tim. You're learning a lot about relays. I'm well impressed by that.
But there are a few fundamentals, I think.
No, you're right. It's not ideal. It's not ideal, but you want the hand, you want it in your hand where it's comfortable. That's
Catherine, you know this stuff.
Well, Usain Bolt always did it. It's, as Tony said, it goes into the comfortable hand on the last leg. You take a risk, of course, because you might drop it, but hey, listen.
I tell you what, if you're Usain Bolt and you're running 8 point for a rolling 100 meters, you can change hand to
the thing. I mean, you've got time to do a cup of tea.
The American suffering an injury in that women's 4x100 meter relay. But as Tim said, the trophy is going to the United States of America. But good points for Britain there. 42.52 seconds. They're going to rival for second place here, because look at Poland, 7th in 43.82.
Jamaica, fabulous there on that.
Two women's 4x100-meter relays, the final of the World Athletics U20 Championships, and the elite showdown at the World Athletics Relay World Cup, delivered remarkably similar lessons despite involving very different athletes and circumstances. Together, they perfectly illustrated why the sprint relay remains the most unpredictable event in track and field. In Lima, the spotlight was on the next generation. 8 nations lined up: Jamaica, United States, Australia, Switzerland, Canada, Puerto Rico, Poland, and Ukraine. On paper, the United States entered as favorites, backed by superior individual speed and depth. Jamaica, however, arrived with a different weapon: relay discipline. From the opening leg, the Jamaican team ran with controlled aggression, prioritizing clean acceleration into the exchange zones. Their baton passes were sharp, calm, and perfectly timed. The U.S. squad, despite impressive raw speed, lost momentum during the exchanges. The margin was small, but in a sprint relay, even a fraction of hesitation is fatal. Jamaica capitalized, surging ahead in the final stages and securing a memorable victory. The result sent a clear message. At championship level, relay execution outweighs individual brilliance. London provided a far more dramatic and brutal example of the same truth. The women's 4x100 meters at the World Cup featured seasoned stars and global medalists. The United States were overwhelming favorites, already having clinched the overall title. Challenging them were Great Britain, Jamaica, China, Germany, France, Poland, and South Africa. Jamaica opened with sprint royalty, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, followed by the world-class firepower of Shericka Jackson. On paper, it looked like a classic Jamaica versus USA showdown. But the race ended almost as soon as it began. The U.S. leadoff runner suffered a devastating injury just meters into the race and collapsed on the track, instantly eliminating the favorites and shocking the stadium. In the chaos, Great Britain kept their composure. With smooth baton exchanges and disciplined lane running, they gradually took control. Jamaica's speed kept them competitive, but minor inefficiencies in the exchanges proved costly. Britain's precision ultimately delivered a stunning victory over Jamaica and China. Comparing these two races reveals a powerful pattern. In Lima, youth teams learned that talent alone is not enough. In London, even the strongest favorites were reminded that relays demand perfection under pressure. Different ages, different stakes, same conclusion. In the 4x100 meters, the baton decides everything.